What's up, everybody? Gojo here, and today I am making a video about the good, the bad, and the peak. We're gonna be talking about some of the shows, some of the things that I have been watching more recently. Just real quick, I wanted to mention that I wanted to put in Daima in here for peak, but I'm not caught up on Dragon Ball yet. I'm close to Daima, but I'm not there. Just got to finish GT and then also catching up on Daredevil, make a video about that and Dragon Ball soon. So now Invincible. There's a lot of discourse online about the animation of Invincible, and I feel like honestly, like my friend here, he doesn't think it's good, and it's one of the reasons he hasn't started the show. And I contest to that by saying that exactly, that it's just all right. I wouldn't say it's peak. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's good. It's just good. It's just good. That's all we need. Like, I don't see any reason for them not to complain about the animation, but like for them to sit here and shut down the show and say that it's bad or that it doesn't deserve what it's getting because of it is just ludicrous. And I think that needs to be shut down right away. I'm gonna make a full video analysis on the full season when it's done. But that's later to come. I want to get into more of the rest of these shows that I think are good, bad, and peak. So next on the list is something that I actually do think is ass animation. We're talking about one of my favorite properties right now to date, Blue Lock. Blue Lock's animation in the second season was absolutely what you would call ludicrous. This shit was so unbelievably bad. It was like I was reading a colorized audio book version of the fucking manga. Like, it literally had no animation other than the last episode when Nagi made his goal. They animated that a little bit, not even like fully like they did in the first season. I don't know, I'm just fucking disappointed with this shit, and it's honestly making me mad that people will sit here and shit on Invincible, but they won't even talk about how Blue Lock's animation is bad, but the story is good. Like, it gets me tight, bro. It gets me real tight. So we're just gonna move that right on into bad. I'm not gonna sit here and yap about that forever because there's other things I want to talk about with Blue Lock that aren't just the one aspect of its animation that can't even be attributed to them just not caring or it being a bad show or boring. If they animated it the way they animated, like we got the proof is in the pudding, and we got the pudding. We already got a few of the first episodes. Am I wrong, Kenneth? We got a few of the first episodes. They were peak as fuck. When that nigga kicked that ball into that other dude's face, that white-haired dude's face, I literally was like jumping out of my chair. I was like, this is a soccer anime. No sports anime ever had me that hyped, bro. As some of the when Batra did his first little volley and crossover, I was fucking hyped when he did his little awakening. Bro, they can do it. It's just there's issues with the studio, with the budgeting, and if they get that under wraps, which according to my friend here, they are, so hopefully this list will change. They might. So, yeah. Let Mappa hop on it. Anyway, now speaking of an actually peak anime that has peak animation, peak story, this video is more or less about the animation and less about the story, but we're gonna be talking about Solo Leveling. Season 2 of Solo Leveling, bro. I wasn't even that big of a fan of Solo Leveling, bro. When I tell you I watched the first couple episodes, I wasn't even that into it. And then because I was watching it when I was in Japan, just because the homies I was with put me on. And when I got into it, started reading the manga after I finished the first season, I'm telling you, this motherfucker, I started to read the manga with Alex Lee's voice in my head. I'd be like, arise. Every time he'd kill some ice bears, nigga, or he'd take down a dungeon boss, I'm like, this guy's about to fucking arise everybody in the room. And all we're waiting, it basically, the first two seasons are just blue ball of him getting of him hiding his rank and being cool about it when he reveals it. Like, that's pretty much what it is. But even then, like, we're not even into the peak of the story yet, what the manga gets into. But I guess it's a webtoon, but I'm gonna call it a manga because fuck you. what the manga gets into, the show is not even really that far into his power or the story of what's going on with how he got his abilities and why, you know what I mean? The show is pretty early on right now. We're barely in season 2, and what they've shown so far is nothing, and they still have shown peak animation. It's reminiscent of Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it, bro. It's reminiscent of how Jujutsu Kaisen popped out with just its first season, not its second season, because its second season shut down anime, bro. That shit was undeniably legendary. But anyway, we're not gonna go that far back, so I'm putting Solo Leveling at peak just because I've been watching it and it's good. Moving along, because I don't want this video to be super long. A show that not a lot of people have been paying attention to. I've been seeing their shorts. I followed the Adult Swim YouTube channel. I've been seeing their shorts and their videos that they post about this show because it's really good and the fan base is really strong. So the people that do watch it like it a lot, but it's not getting the recognition it deserves on a high aspect that it should get, because the topics it touches on are so relevant to right now that it's almost weird that it's not. It's almost like there's some kind of government censorship going on with this shit. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe they're blacklisting the show because it's about big pharma and medication taking over fuck, I'm blanking on what I was talking about, but yeah, it's about big pharma and there being a drug that can cure any disease, and you end up finding out that it can almost bring you back from death while also taking you on this amazing trip. So this show, I would say this is gonna be, I don't know, I wanted to put it at good, I really do, but I think I'm gonna have to put it at meh animation good show. Because this show doesn't have the best animation, but the fucking show is so good. It's peak. It's like really, it really is good. So, only reason I'm not putting it at just peak is because it hasn't finished yet. It releases every Monday. It's on Max and Adult Swim. I really advise y'all go watch it, because even outside of like the fantasy aspects of the mushroom being able to cure any disease, the big pharma, government, and FBI and drug conspiracy shit that happens in that show is so eye-opening, and I think a lot of people need to open their eyes to it, like just what I said. So moving on, we have a show that I honestly, you know what, no, we're gonna put this at good. We're gonna put this at good because I think the animation is good enough to where in the show is good enough to where the animation is like it's subpar in your mind. It's like not what's important at all. Like compared to these 3 action shows, that's very important, and this show doesn't even have that good of animation, and it uses its bad animation to its liking, you know what I mean? Now another show that I purposefully made this category for, that I wasn't gonna put this one in, but I was gonna put this one in, was Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think this show has pretty subpar animation until you get to the action. Other than that, it's meh. That's not what people are going on the show for. They're really going for the story and the character of Spider-Man. I don't know. I feel like the second season, they could tidy up the animation a little bit. Them frame drops in a couple of those episodes really just didn't do it for me. I honestly feel like for a big budget, top of the line, #1 character of all time show, they should have no, you know what I mean, budget cuts at animation. Especially with the lack of material that Marvel's been dropping recently, they're not, you know what I mean, they're not fucking focusing on a bunch of shit, so they could definitely focus on one thing at a time right now with all of the concept designs that we saw in the little end credit scenes. They definitely spent their time with this show, so I don't understand why there was frame drops and I don't know. I feel like they can improve the frame rate just a little bit. Just a little bit. I could be wrong. Maybe if they did it a little bit, it would make it too fluid. I get what they're going for. So that's why I put meh animation instead of just bad. Because Blue Lock was just bad. We're hopping back on Blue Lock's head. Blue Lock was just fucking garbage. Like, it was literally slideshow, picture, maybe one scene of the ball rolling. Like, I didn't even give it enough bad credit. Like, it needs more bad credit. Like, in the negatives, nigga. That shit had...
reason to even be like that.
The only animated scenes of them moving. What were you saying?
It was the highest selling manga of 2023 too.
It's insane, bro. It's insane. You read the story and it's like the character development, the depth and foreshadowing. He's just a good mangaka, and we don't even know what the fuck he looks like. Like it's a good ass story, and for them to do the anime, and then that's the thing. The first couple episodes weren't that bad. They were fucking peak. If every episode was animated that level of animation style, oh, all they animate this season, I'm gonna cut it here short. All they animate this season are the auras, the hair moving, the ball, and they'll do 3D CGI scenes of the characters running. That's fucking it. That's it. That's all they do. That's all they do. And maybe the fucking the end credit scene after the credits roll and the OST plays, they fucking have the scene of the characters doing their little blue lock analysis of the next episode. That's the only thing they animate. Like what? And then until the last episode. But we're not here to talk about that. Now, a show that has good, decent animation, but is so ass in storytelling, in comedy, in everything it aims to do but animation, is this new show, and it's called Craptopia. And it's by the creators of Rick and Morty, Dan Harmon, not Justin Roiland. I think Justin Roiland was the better half of the duo in everything they made. When it comes to Rick and Morty, when it comes to the games they made, the Trover versus Universe, the High on Life, I think even the what's it called, Solar Opposites. Anyway, this show is not good. I watched like 5 episodes of it when I was at my brother's house, and the animation's all right. Everything else is bad. Everything else is bad. It's not Blue Lock level bad animation, but everything else is just And we're gonna move on from that because I don't want to talk about it no more. A show with peak animation, peak storytelling that I think doesn't get enough credit. We're gonna get into those shows now. Creature Commandos. This show came out last year, nearing the end of last year. It's James Gunn's reboot to the entire DC franchise. He's doing reboot to animation, reboot to the live action story and the comics. Everything is getting restarted and put at a new point to where, which I know they've done a bunch of times, but this reboot is looking promising. If you watch this show, I honestly think it'll be one of your favorite, because this is a trash. That's another thing I want to talk about in this video. The trash attempts at adult animation that we're getting. These two shows right here, Common Side Effects and Creature Commandos, deserve all of the praise when it comes to adult animation. I feel like they are actually doing what we need with storytelling. Since BoJack, I haven't seen that. Like Rick and Morty's not dropping, Smiling Friends isn't dropping. We're not getting story periodic telling. We're not getting Family Guy-esque storytelling. Nothing. We're just getting no adult and oriented animation right now. So I think Creature Commandos did that very well. So props to them. This is also adult animation, but it's less of like humor and more of like, this is just made for not for kids and more for like young adults and teens. The new Watchmen movies, this is gonna stand for both of them. The animation is really good. I honestly think that they took that style of animation that I really don't like with the there's a couple shows that have it. There's that Black Lotus Blade Runner show. You have the secret no. What is it called? The Marvel What If, that 3D CGI. I don't like it. But in this movie, both of them, it was really good. And it might just be I'm biased because I really like Watchmen, but this content was really good to consume. I think everybody should watch that as well. Just more peak shit to show the difference in contrast between peak good and bad. Another show with peak animation that I would put above Watchmen, honestly, is Pantheon. Neither of these shows, Pantheon or Watchmen, came out in the more recent years. Both of them came out season 2 of Pantheon in 2023, and then Watchmen's first and second movie just came out last year and in the beginning of 2024. So they're not too new, but they're definitely new enough to where I feel like they're relevant to the topic that people aren't paying attention to them. You know what I mean? They just put the second season of Pantheon on Netflix, so definitely go check that out. It's my favorite show right now. Besides Creature Commandos, I really like Creature Commandos and Spider-Man, even though the animation subpar. And I want season 2 already. But anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say. I don't know if Kenneth, you had to say anything.
It's a good show. You all should watch it. I've been messing with it.
Yeah, and he's very picky when it comes to shows. If the animation isn't good,
Spider-Man hater.
he knows all of the Invincible lore, but hasn't seen a single episode of the show. So, you know, it really is what it is. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Stay sturdy, my friends.